Well, hello to you. We've made it. This is the endurance final. Pretty much an hour of racing. How many laps are we doing?
100!
100 laps here at the Thunder Alley RC Speedway, which is just over here. You can't see it, but you will see it for 100 laps very soon now. If you've been with us all day, we've had 4 rounds of qualifying racing. Any particular your favourite?
Well, I think we've seen some great performance by Davide Ungaro and great performance by the HB team, so it's looking like that's going to be the battle going on. But, Matt, it's the end of the inaugural season of RCGP. It's been a fantastic season. What are your key memories?
My key memories are how stressed we were in Manila to get that first race done and how relieved we were that it went as well as it did.
My main memories are we've had, I'm English, all I can think about is the amazing weather we've had. It was so hot and so muggy in Manila, and it was unbelievably boiling hot in Italy as well, and then we came here and we virtually got blown away in a wildfire. Everywhere we go, great weather, but more importantly, we had great racing. We've seen a true champion, Davide Ungaro, but more importantly, we've seen some great teamwork. We've seen the whole burgeoning of RC teams working together in a proper professional scale motorsport way, and I personally am very proud to be part of this first season, and I can only think we're going to get better, but I suppose really we should start talking about what's coming up in 1 hour's time, well, in 1 minute to 1 hour's time.
Yes, in an hour's time we're going to declare the champion of round 8. Obviously we already have the overall champion, Davide Ungaro, and we said right at the beginning of the season that to prove yourself as the best racer, you need to do it on multiple tracks in multiple countries, sprint and endurance, and boy did he do it. He has proved himself as the best RC driver in the world, perhaps.
I think there's no doubt that at the moment he is currently the world champion, he's the RCGP champion. There are no other series. Yes, individual races, DXR, he got beaten by a bad tyre choice by Ryan Lutz. Individual things, he broke down with a problem in the Euros. But he's won the Worlds, the one-off, and now he's won the series. Where else could it be?
What else can it be? And who's going to win today? Well, I'll tell you one thing, Nick. Anticipation really is building.
With Ryan Lutz. Now, Matt chose you to be my interview site. I think mainly because you're also equally tall. So does Matt likes me looking up the whole time in all my interviews? Ryan, how much have you enjoyed your RCGP experience?
I'm really enjoying it. All the heads-up racing, it's made it really exciting and having a great time out there.
So we'll be seeing you as a full-time member of the next year's event?
That's not up to me per se, but
oh, come on.
when I have some pull, I'll be vouching for it. We'll see how it all works out.
Big hour final. Now, I've seen you in one major final this year, DXR, and you won that one, so I'm your lucky talisman.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll take all I can get.
Thanks, Ryan. Enjoy it, mate. Great to see you here. Ryan Lutz, the friendly giant of RC racing. And now, the man who finally achieved his aim for the year yesterday. Can you repeat your aim and take an entire sweep and win one of the long races?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Speed is good. Just got to get a good start, as always, this weekend, and should be good from there.
So I'm going to take away your win yesterday. What's your best memory? What's your best feeling about RCGP Season 1?
I would have to say I liked the first race in Philippines. I thought it was a great track to have such a race. It was awesome layout. Unfortunately, I didn't get the results I wanted, but it was a good, always a good first race. It was nice to see the series, get going. I would say Philippines and this one has been my favorite.
And can I ask you, in your previous, it must be 15 years of racing, and the racing, have you ever had 3 tires come off in a race before?
Yeah, in Philippines.
Again, since then, yeah.
That's the only time. No, 3 tires, not sure. Maybe 1 or 2. Okay,
thanks, David. Best of luck for the hour final. Come on, one more pre-race chat with our champion, Davide. You after yesterday's terrible failure of only coming second, how are you feeling about the final? It seems that the HBs are very fast, but if you get in front, you can stay there.
Yeah, they are really, really fast. Maybe they find a good tire or his track. And yeah, I will try for sure to stay with them and start good this time. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
And apart from the races you've won, what's been your best memory of RCGP Season 1?
For sure, Asti, when we won the championship. But also Philippines was really, really nice.
Great stuff. Thank you, Davide. Best of luck. So everyone loved the Philippines. I think it was that amazing thing. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? It's worked! Which I can tell you right now is like a man I felt. Anyway, we've met a couple of the drivers, really the big movers and shakers, and it's all to play for second. Don't forget, there's now 1 point after qualifying between Juan Carlos Canas and David Ronefalk for second overall in the championship. We've met the Cup drivers. Now let's meet the rest of the grid.
Car number 94 from Italy for Team Scuderia Scampi Rosso, it's Davide Ungaro. Driving car number 15 from Georgia, USA for Team HB Performer Racing, it's Cole Ogden. Driving car number 23 from Spain for the S-Works team, it's Juan Carlos Canas. Car number 10 from Australia for Team Infinity, it's Kyle McBride. Driving car number 7 from Sweden for the HB Performer Racing team, it's David Ronefalk. Car number 37 from Ohio, USA for Team Beach RC, it's Ryan Lutz. Driving car number 24 from California for the S-Works team, it's Ryan Cavallari. Car number 12 from the United Kingdom for Team Infinity, it's Lee Martin. Driving car number 100 from Finland for the JQ Racing team, it's Joseph Quagrain. Car number 92 from South Carolina, USA for Team Beach RC, it's Evan Vale. Car number 18 from Finland for the JQ Racing team, it's Max Mort. Car number 33 from Switzerland for Team Scuderia Scampi Rosso, it's Patrick Hoffer.
And there is the grid for the final race of the year. Of course, it's not the normal long-form grid because, of course, we are going to use the gate start. A little bit of I think the slight delay was called by Ungaro. He's got a little bit of problem. So give me a chance to talk about the point situation. Now, we know who the team's championships are. That's been won by Scuderia Scampi Rosso. And we know who the driver's champion is. That is Davide Ungaro. But in the team's championship, there is 3 points behind S-Works, who have 164 points, and HB Racing Performer, who have 161 points. And in the actual driver's championship, there's 1 point between Juan Carlos Canas, who has 76 points, I think it is, and the 75 points which Ungaro has. So basically, so 97 points that Canas has, and then 97 points. Sorry, there's no points. It's now a tie. It's now a tie between Juan Carlos Canas and Dave Ronefalk for the drivers. So that is all to play for. So whoever finishes ahead of each other in that one will take the overall second place. Just so you know, you get a 25 points for a win, 17 for second, 14 for third, 12 for fourth, 11 for fifth, then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, right down to 15. But of course, we only have 12 here. So the least amount of points you can get is 4. 100 laps. Something in the region of an hour, give or take. And we will see. Okay, so we could chat about some of the Holeshot competitions. And So they are on 2-minute warm-up. They will then get called out to the starting section, and we can see below. Can you give us a little bit of a shot of the pit men, please? And let's have a bit of a close-up of the... That's great. So it's hoodie weather now. Now, Leon Morel in the middle there is still going with the T-shirt and shorts, but the dramatic temperature drop that we will see and have already seen, and so will continue in the next hour. It's currently just coming to 7 o'clock local time, and the temperature will drop right off by the time the final ends at 8. So up it goes as we are running through the pit lane. Now, with an hour's race, most of the cars will probably run 7.5 minutes approximately. So they will stop at 7.5, at 15, at 22, at 30, at 37, at 45. And then again at 52, so it's a 7-stop race. Running 9 minutes, you get down to 6. Okay. There are all the drivers. All cars coming in. So with the original intention, unfortunately this race is slightly delayed. JQ's original intention with this race was supposed to start half an hour earlier. We lost some time during the course of the RC2 competitions. Was to have this starting in dusk, going into dark. Well, it's half an hour late, so it's just starting in dark. So the race will be run in full dark. There we go. JQ in the red top. It's Juan Carlos Canas. Evan Vale with the hood with the ridiculous beard. It's Max Moore with the HB Racing top. Cole Ogden, backwards cap for Lee Martin. Infinity top for Carl McBride. His own special racewear and team wear for David Ronefalk. Leaning down is Davide Ungaro. Being as tall as possible, it's Ryan Lutz. And next to him, Ryan Cavalieri. And then it's Patrick Hoffer on the far end. And somehow, like one of those weird panoramic pictures, Mao was at both ends of that. Do you see that? Like those school pictures where you run round. You have Mao at both ends. Amazing. Okay, out they come. And the start of the final, which will be 100 laps. So we're here for a duration. The duration is about an hour. And then there needs to be a TV program on British television called Stingray, which the tagline was anything can happen in the next half hour. Well, double that can happen in the hour. Just get a chance to thank Proline, our title sponsors for this round 7 and 8 at Thunder Valley Raceway here near Beaumont in California. I always like to thank JK Racing, HB Performer, Beach RC, S-Works, Comsport MX, Skido Champion and Infinity, and of course Hot Race and Red's Engine. Last time for Evelyn to wave the 15-second board. She'll spin it round to 5. The mechanics have kicked off and have to go away. We'll get ready for the start of round 8. And it was a massive start. Mullard immediately was Ungaro, but he's got away with a bit. He's down in 5th or 6th. Into the lead has gone Ronefalk, and it looks like it's going to be McBride in 2nd, and 3rd is Canas. No, that's all got a bit wrong, and Ungaro's had another problem. Ungaro's going to start in 10th. So it's Ronefalk, McBride, Canas, Martin, Cavalieri, then it's JQ and Evan Vale. And I'll tell you right now that the dead last is Davide Ungaro. So Ungaro has to come back from dead last at this point. I'm sure he can do it, but he's got a problem in that Ronefalk's out front. So Ronefalk leads away down past the Holeshot corner, and he's followed by McBride, and behind him is going to be Canas. So certainly McBride and Canas have been very, very strong all weekend. I'm not quite sure where Ogden is. Ogden's in 8th, so Ogden's had a good start. He would be the person who would be most likely to be challenging the Swede. But Ronefalk leads through into lap 2. And he has a 0.8 of a second lead, and the other two are close together. They've given themselves a nice gap. Lee Martin, 4 seconds back from these top 3. Ungaro up to 9th, but he's 7 seconds off the lead. So he's got a lot of work to do. I'm not saying he can't do it, because he is probably the best driver in the world, but he's not given himself the best start, and therefore he's given himself a challenge for the final round. But he is, of course, already the champion of RCGP Season 1 2019, over the difficult quad for the third time. And you'll see the Australian McBride is not being left in the white and the red Infinity machines. He tries to track down David Ronefalk in the HB. Very, very different track conditions from even the last they went out an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, because the sun's gone down, the temperature's gone down. The track itself is probably giving a little bit more grip, but of course what that does mean is you've got issues with the shock oils and the oils within the suspension and within the differentials, because they'll be running a lot thicker, because they'll thicken up with the cold weather. They are silicon oils, they're not quite as temperature dependent as old-fashioned mineral oils, but it will still happen. So 1 and 2 very close. Canassi is dropping off these two, but McBride keeping up the pressure on Ronefalk under the floodlights here in Thunder Valley. So actually just Ronefalk gained a tiny bit that time round. Fastest lap of all. Oh, Ronefalk made a mistake, and into the lead goes McBride, and let's see what happened there. He comes round, and just that's weird, that one. Got a kind of half-hearted limp up, and that was it. So McBride takes this. Let's go back. Let's stay with Ronefalk, who's battling with Canas. So he's in second, but now he's got to try and get himself back in the lead again. His target man, Ungaro, is in 8th, a little way back. But Ronefalk now leads from McBride. So McBride now leads from Ronefalk, but instantaneously, Ronefalk has dropped Canas. Ogden, though, is up to 4. So Ogden is also moving forward in this race, and he's got enough time to do something about it. Whereas Ungaro is kind of stagnating in the middle of the field at the moment. But, another mistake from Ronefalk. Now, not the end of the world, but my guess is this is going to start bringing Ogden into play, because those HBs are looking particularly good. Ogden had a problem with the second of the short finals yesterday when he ended up with his car just going solid because all the oils just got too thick. It got very cold towards the back end of yesterday. And another mistake I've just seen upside down for Ungaro. So Ungaro is now, I'll tell you, Ungaro is 14 seconds behind our leader, and our leader is the Australian Carl McBride. So Ronefalk now needs to calm it down. He's got the ground speed to get McBride, but he's going to have to give himself a chance. Now, coming towards Canas, who has been surprisingly there or thereabouts. Don't forget, it's Canas versus Ronefalk for second place in the championship. Is Cole Ogden getting closer all the time. As Ronefalk drops down, and any second now, so the McBride lead is 2.8. Ronefalk is just ahead of Canas. Just drop back one more to Canas, because Canas now is getting under pressure from Ogden for third. So Canas and Ogden now battling for third. Ungaro, long way back at the moment, as they go up the hill to the Thunder Valley Bend, and we have completed 7 of the 100 laps. It's already been very action-packed, and there's Ogden, who has that, fantastic flight up there from Ogden. He's going to try and get Canas in the top row. He's got a huge amount of pace. Can he get him on the downhill spin? No. Canas stops him at the bottom of the Holeshot jump, and now they go back up and through into the Pole of Doom. And again, Ogden looking to try and get that speed going through. And they turn around again. Ogden dropped off a bit. Now, the interesting thing is that Ronefalk is not making any impression on the leader, McBride. The past 2 laps, he's gained 1/10 a second, but actually now they're getting they're condensing between second, third, and fourth. As you can see, Canas, the white car for the S-Works team in the middle. So there we go with Canas over the Doom. There's a bit of feedback from the microphone from as he comes. Oh, and that's so the S-Works up and about. I'm trying to work where the rest of the cars are gone. So in fact, Cole Ogden's dropped off the back there by a slight error, so he ended up in kind of no man's land temporarily as they go over the wall of death from Proline. They spin round and up at the top. And so it's Canas is holding on. And what's happened was, off camera, Ogden dropped a 2-second error. But it's still 3 seconds from McBride to Ronnefout. Canas in third isn't being dropped at all by him. Here they go, flying high there. So Canas still flamboyantly running through the jump over the original starting grid and not being dropped slightly. Now it's interesting that Ogden suddenly has dropped off Canas. And I think Ogden has just thrown a couple of mistakes together. Ungaro in 7th is 16 seconds off the lead, which is McBride, who Australian fans is happily away as we look at the battle now for 2nd and 3rd. Oh, actually, it looks a bit closer, actually. I think may have been a foreshortening by the length of time it takes to go over the difficult quad. But, oh, and in comes Canas. So Canas comes in first at 7 minutes and 26 seconds, and down they go. So he's taken a stop. Upper half is spinning on his own self. That's another mistake, I think, by Ogden. So Ogden now is effectively only just ahead, but he's a pit stop behind. So Canas, let's see if we can find Ronnefout. Ronnefout now is about to go for the difficult quad, as is McBride. So they're much closer than they were. It's 1.9 seconds, and my guess is that these may both go in, and indeed they do. So it's a race stop between McBride and Ronnefout. McBride down, Ronnefout definitely quicker. So Ronnefout and McBride right together now for 1st and 2nd. They both make one. Oh, Ronnefout inside. No, we just touched him, but he got away with his break, and then there'll be no harm, no foul. Lost a bit of time there, but that was more a case of having incredible speed, and suddenly Ronnefout ended up coming up the inside of McBride. So McBride now gets a little bit of breathing room, a few yards. The red and white car from the Infinity, Australian McBride, ahead of the famous colours now, really, the green and the yellow of David Ronnefout from Sweden. And you can see in the back, despite stopping a lap earlier, Canas is not really being dropped. So we'll just wait to get a proper time split now, and it's 1.1 seconds from McBride to Ronnefout, and Canas a further 1.9 behind him as they roll up the ridge. So 1, 2 and 3 covered by 3 seconds, dropping down the whole shot, and they're going to climb back up through the hot race double. And they're just turning lap up. I mean, 14 laps in, so we're still very much in the early stage of this race, and we obviously have the leaders in the same frame for most of it, or at least apart from a couple of laps for the pit stops. So just for the pit stops, Ronnefout managed to gain it for a couple of seconds on McBride, but more importantly, Ogden got dropped, and Ogden has stayed dropped now, and he's down in 5th behind Cavalieri. So Ogden, I think, had a couple of problems, which he's now going to have to try and use the innate speed of the HB to pull through. And in fact, he's just got past Cavalieri, but he is 10 seconds off the lead now, as the lead is right together as Ronnefout and McBride fight for the right to win the final round of RCGP, the final 1 hour race of season 1. Sorry about that. And there's no real need to read out Disney. You can see it interesting now on the main straight. It does seem that McBride's got a little bit more oomph, a little bit more push, a bit easy to get away. Whereas Ronnefout is turning at the top. As they drive through. So, McBride there, almost left the door open for Ronnefout. Over the difficult quad. And Ronnefout hunting down his quarry. But McBride has shown over the course of these 8 races within RCGP, he's had a lot of adversity and some success, but he's no pushover. And whilst, he's, in a way, he's sort of down in Australia and therefore misses out on doing quite as many big international races as some of the other drivers, he's every bit as good and every bit a match for them when he gets the chance to display his talents on the world stage. And this really is the world stage, a series, a world series, not just a one-off every 2 years, but a world series where they have, 8 races, 4 events every season, where you can truly see who has that ability to bring their game every week. And with the exception of the first few minutes of this race, it's been very evident in 2019 that man is Davide Ungaro. But some of the people impressed us most include people like Cole Ogden, and more importantly, people like Carl McBride, who've really looked very, very strong throughout the season in many races and have won heats at virtually all of the events, which McBride has certainly done. Ronnefout Just dropping a little bit, dropping a little bit off. He was like half a yard off. So they've now been trailing each other, and it's JQ they're going to come up to the lap. They've been trailing each other ever since the pit stops. Canas not being dropped. Canas in many ways, I think he's actually slightly gained on them. So it may soon become a three-way battle. JQ being asked to move out the way, so hopefully he won't interfere with the race. McBride a little wide at the Thunder Alley hairpin there, but they get past JQ with no problems, jumping over the ridge again, and I think Canas will also pass into the top three, move through. Ungaro now in fifth, but he's still 16 seconds behind the leaders. Doesn't mean he's not going to beat there, doesn't mean he's not going to the podium, but it's going to be a bit more of a fight, and we're going to see some special Ungaro magic, but the first two still nailed together as we've had 12 minutes this race or 19 laps. Down the steps. Oh, and again, just you look at the different lines, and the different lines con you into believing there's going to be an overtake. But Ronefalk with the HB, chasing the Infinity Team member, Carl McBride. Red and white for the Australian, green and yellow for the Sweden. Just behind is the Spaniard Juan Carlos Canas. And the thing to remember about all this is that the battle that is really raging is the battle for second overall, where Ronefalk and Canas are absolutely tied for points, 97 points each. In the darkness. Oh, and is Ronefalk going to take it? I think he's going to get up inside. That Holeshot lower camera really kind of cons you slightly into the angles of who's got where. And when the touch stopped, that's fine. So let's just see what was happening there. They sort of touched and they stopped. And then they carried on going. So that's all right. And they're now down the straight with us right now. And it's a left and a right. And I was watching them going up the hill. You could see that Ronefalk was drifting left and right, and then he tries to get the break in the turn at the bottom of the steps. And what is happening is Canas is getting a bit closer. Canas is 1.2 seconds on the back of these, so these two obviously are nailed together, and Canas is 1.2 seconds behind them. So far, we're going to run, it's getting close to running an entire fuel stop with these two cars this far apart, which is tremendous pressure, which not only is Ronefalk exerting, but more importantly, Carl McBride is absorbing. And he's a big, tough Australian. He's having no problems at all with the more astute golf playing Swede, but at the and he's done too early, but he's going to get drive. And he's just and it's gone there. What happened there? First mistake, right? I now need to gun myself out of this issue, and he just got a bit of I think it was like he got a bad bit of grip coming off the hill, up the hill, and suddenly he's speared off at an angle. So let's see how this one settles down. Because Ronefalk hasn't actually won himself a free pass, because that white flash behind him is Juan Carlos Canas in second, as we now watch them go over. So they go across the line now. Ronefalk leads, Canas 1.06 behind, and McBride quite a long way back actually. Carl McBride's had a really bad run, and he's dropped a long way back, but he's still not. He lost 11 seconds in that one. Wow, I didn't see quite how badly that went, but that was one accident too many. Ungaro now in third, as it looks like there's some work going on now. So Canas has dropped off the back of and comes in for fuel. Right, so we should see Ronefalk coming in for fuel next time round. So we'll stay with him for a bit. It might be 2 laps actually. He might be doing a lap more, a run. So he's now leading. McBride, who had a bit absolute nightmare there with one accident, lost 11 seconds. It's been hard to make that back after holding the pressure for the first 14 and a half minutes. Canas just dropped a little bit off Ronefalk as well, after being really, really close to him. McBride, it's Ungaro, Ogden, Cavalieri is your next run. In for the fuel comes Ronefalk, so they don't make a mistake. This is no reason why Pierre Ronefalk or Andre Berton should do that. And we'll now have a chance to see how far ahead he is of Canas, and it looks like a very long way is the answer to that question. I think Canas, up to that point, and he's got away with it. So what happened? That bit heavier? No, just got to turn on his jump, but that's fine. He's got away with it. Just going to lose a couple of seconds. But the gap to Canas is huge. Not quite sure what's happened. So Canas is a long way back. Fighting with Max Mort, actually, which is being lapped. So Ronefalk continues to lead. McBride is now a little bit closer than he was. He's 6-7 seconds back. Ungaro's another 8 seconds back, 14 seconds behind in total. Ogden is further back from... Cavalieri now is taking 5th and Ogden is 6th. So, Ronefalk leads. And what we'll do is let's let Ronefalk through and let's pick up Canas, the white car. So just drop back 1 to the white car of Canas. So Canas, 28 laps down. Now behind at the moment he has Mort, who's been lapped. Now interestingly, what looked like quite a close situation, not quite as close as it was, because McBride hadn't made his fuel stop. So unless he's going to save one, which possibly may do, he's a little bit short. So Canas running second, now 4.5 seconds off the lead, 4.8. So Ronefalk's found a little pace as he's gone through on these last couple of laps. McBride still not past the track. There he goes, and he's a long, long way back, 13 back. Now let's drop quite back. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and pick up Davide Ungaro, who is actually at the bottom of the steps right now and climbing up and underneath Ash with his orange tip wing, because he's now in 4th place on a recovery drive after a terrible start. So Ungaro, your 2019 RCGP champion with 6 wins and 1 second, he's in 4th at the moment. He's 2.5 seconds behind McBride. So McBride is a very viable target for the Italian. In fact, he's a lot less than 2.5 seconds now, I can tell you, because McBride has just crossed the line now, and Ungaro continues moving forward with a hat-waving Richard Saxton, wishing him well from the pit lane. And it's down to 1.1 seconds now as Ungaro chases with 3rd place. But there is a 14-second gap between McBride and Canas, so the problem doesn't go away, but it does mean he moves up into 3rd. Behind him, it's Ogden in 5th, Cavalieri in 6th, Lutz in 7th, Vale in 8th, Cochrane 9, Hoffer 10, Lee Martin 11, and I don't think running at the moment, and Max Mort in 12th, and he was running quite recently, so he may, he is running, but he's lost a few laps whilst doing it. So there we go, there we have it. McBride currently holding 3rd, and the lively Team Scuderia Scampiorasso machine of Davide Ungaro, your world champion, won sort of this time last year in Australia, in Perth, with a kind of a masterful performance in the hour-long final. This is nearly an hour-long race, so they're fully aware of what to do and how to run these races. And McBride now, who had that one massively bad lap prior to the second pit stops, which put him back about 11 or 12 seconds. Lost a couple more since then. But Ungaro now looking to drive past if he can, pick up 3rd place. That's Mort in front of them, who's a back marker, and actually it's Hoffer in front of them. And as they go along the ridge, these two professional and ace drivers are fighting for 3rd in the hour-long feature here at Thunder Alley Raceway for RCGP Round 8. And was that a problem for... Oh, blimey. Yep, and so that's changed there because it was McBride who was upside down in the hole. So into 3rd place goes Ungaro. So he's come back from 9th. He's got to 3rd, but he has had that issue with the traffic. And the traffic has meant that he is something in the region of 16 seconds off Ronefalk by the time he's got himself back into clean air. Some of his own fault, so he made a couple of mistakes. He certainly got muddled in the first couple of corners. And then after that, he kind of had to wait and see what he could do. So he's now got to try... Still got plenty of time. He's got 66 laps to try and move himself forward enough to become in play, either with Canas, who's 5.8 seconds behind Ronefalk, or Dreamscape actually get to Ronefalk. So drop back 1 car, which should be McBride, hopefully. We'll drop back to you find McBride, the red and white car. There we go. So McBride now running in 4th. He's a little bit ahead of Ogden, and Ogden's doing what he did in the final yesterday, where he was very, very quick between crashes in 5th. So McBride had a couple of big ones, and they've taken him out of the lead and put him in 4th. And he's going to be about 22 seconds or so off the lead. And last time round, he was at 1.8 seconds ahead of, it's 20 seconds off, actually, 1.8 seconds off. Now that time round, actually, Canas dropped 4 seconds. So Canas, as you can see now, is 9 behind Ronefeld, but only 8 ahead of Ungaro. So Ungaro's target second is looking more realistic, as Canas made a mistake that time round. Ogden 1.7 seconds behind. You can just see him in the background there. As they go around the pole corners, he looks to try and pick up between his chance to pick up 4th place. Up and flying over the gate jump as McBride starts another lap, climbs the hill. Huge amount of elevation change in this Thunder Rally track, all the way down those steps. Very difficult section. We talked about that in the build up to qualifying race number 2. And still there's a lot in this race to go yet. No one is safe. The lead is not massive. Ungaro, I'm sure, has just, in fact, Ungaro just proved just done the fastest lap of the race with 33.7, gained 9/10 on Canas and half a second on Ronefalk. So at this point, of course, he's got nothing to lose. Ungaro, he's already the champion, so he can absolutely push as hard as he likes and see what happens in 62 laps time where he comes out in a stirring comeback drive. Interestingly, the last couple of laps, these two, which is McBride you see, and the Flash you see in and out every now and again, which is, there we go, Ogden, and they've stayed at 1.7 seconds for the last 2 or 3 laps. That time round, Canas and Ungaro did exactly the same time, and Ronefalk was slightly quicker. So McBride, who has a lead of 1.3 seconds over Ogden now, and Ogden has a very, very long lead over Lutz, who's in 6th. The gap is 7.2 seconds between Ungaro and Canas. Still 16 seconds approximately between Ronefalk and Ungaro. Oh, Ungaro's got past Canas. Is that fuel stops? It is. Right, let's have a, so we can pick up Ungaro. Ungaro is, no, where's Ungaro? Is Ungaro behind? Yeah, there's Ungaro. Just lost myself with eyes. He drops down into the Holeshot now and turns back on him. So we've got Ungaro. Now, Ungaro's 15.5 seconds behind Ronefalk. Now he's gone past Canas, and I think that's because Canas took fuel. You can't have eyes in order back ahead there. Canas now, oh no, Canas has gone back ahead of him again, so they must have both taken fuel. Ah, I see what happened. Yes, they both took fuel, which is why McBride is ahead of Ungaro at the moment. So that's what confused me. I was looking, I saw McBride ahead of Ungaro. What happened is Ungaro and Canas both took fuel, but in the they actually crossed the start-finish line with Ungaro's pit is past the line, I think, and Canas is not necessarily. So they kind of did that thing where they kind of crossed in the pit lane. But Canas is still 5 seconds ahead of Ungaro. Ungaro is behind McBride because McBride's on a different fuel strategy. McBride currently holds 3rd place. And I think it looks like McBride's going to try and save a stop. So this may be a realistic 2nd, 3rd and 4th with our leader 14 seconds ahead, though also I think owing a pit stop. So it looks like I think we're going to see a pit stop saved, definitely by McBride, probably by Ronefalk, and not by Canas or Ungaro. But let's see. So Ronefalk already over the line. There goes Canas, there goes McBride, there goes Ungaro. Ungaro in 4th at the moment. And just ahead of him is Quarry, which is McBride, who he did obviously overtake earlier, but because of the fuel, the world of the fuel, he's taking the stop, and then certainly the way that this is going, you do think that McBride is going to save a stop during this race. He's holding on to the shirt tails of, and then he comes through. Okay, so McBride comes in for fuel now at 25 minutes. Fuel in, fuel out. There he goes. So he now dropped down behind Ungaro and Canas. So Ungaro picks back up into 3rd place, 15 seconds off, sorry, 16 seconds off our leader. is Ronafalk, who's having now got a 13-second lead over Canas. So McBride, but oh dear. So not going brilliant there over the difficult quad. Just slap. I'm not quite sure. They did just try to put a bit too much. Wheel digging, bit of bad luck. But that's what it's all about. And we have to be honest that whilst being absolutely brilliant, to win 6 rounds and get a second and 7th round, you've got to have a bit of luck. And if his luck deserts him to the point that he comes third, you kind of go, well, it's a pretty good season. Yeah. So Ungaro still running in 3rd position. McBride a couple of seconds behind him. Ogden 5 seconds behind that, and Cavalieri 11 seconds behind that. So there's quite a big field spread now outside the leaders. Ronafalk on lap 45, so not halfway yet. Has a 13.3 lead over Canas. Now Ungaro has to try and find 6 seconds to catch up to Canas. So we're in this period of a long race where we're in the middle part where the point is you need to turn laps, and you need to turn efficient laps, and you need to turn quick but not push without risk, as Lena Gade used to say in Le Mans to Andre Lotter and Marcel Fazler and Benoit Trollier as they won 3 Le Mans together. It's quite a difficult thing to do, especially when in Le Mans you're overtaking many cars a lap at very different speeds. Here, of course, what you're trying to do in Scale Motorsport is navigate a constantly changing surface, and when you're not always in the same place. So the racing line effectively changes because you can't always be where you want to be. So Ungaro not really making a lot of inroads with anybody at the moment. Let's see if we can find our leader. Let's have a look at Ronafalk. He must be in the inner wing of the track at the moment. There he goes. He's about to go on to the difficult quad. Let's see how his race is going. It's got a bit of back markery to go. That's one way the back marker get out of the way. It was Patrick Hoffer kind of literally committing Harry Carey in front of him. Just rolling out the way. So Ronafalk streaks up to the Thunder Rally change. His last lap was a 34.8. Canas was a 34.1, 34.5 for Ungaro. So individual laps not necessarily setting the world on fire, but he's now got himself out and about and safe. He's done the work early on. Managed to get past McBride. McBride made one very large error, which he compounded with the second act on the same lap. And now Ronafalk has a very simple thing to do. All he has to do for the next 52 laps is keep it on the island, not fall over, not have a mistake, not have a tyre come off, not have a breakdown, not have an issue at the pit stops, and he will be the winner of round 8. His lead is actually coming down. He's only got 12.6 seconds with Canas, but I think not quite sure how the fuel strategy is going to run out, whether they're now on equal fuel or whether Canas still has to stop once more. My gut feeling is they're on a level fuel stop. They'll be stopping at different times. There's a big puff of smoke, which you can see in this weather, this dark race atmosphere under the floodlights, the smoke lit up by the high intensity LEDs all around the track. So a bit of traffic to clear, and I know that Mao will be helping him, and the first one was Ogden. He's lapped Ogden, blimey. So Ronafalk has just lapped his teammate Cole Ogden, who's obviously just having a bit of a crash fest in many ways, and he's got stuck. So Ronafalk makes a small mistake and he's going to have to lap Ogden again. So that was a weird one, wasn't it? The camera thought he was coming through. My head moved thinking he was going around that corner. The camera moved thinking he was going around the corner, and then it didn't happen. He just got stuck. So let's see how much damage that's done to his performance. That lap round was a 37. The answer is he lost 3 seconds nearly. Fuel comes in, fuel goes out. So he will be very much closer to Canas now after that mistake and the fuel stop. But saying that, where is Canas? And the answer, I think Canas also went for fuel. So the lap stays at 14. So actually, I think Canas may have made a mistake actually, because Canas is now very close to Ungaro. So what we need to do is, there's McBride. And where's Ungaro gone? This is telling you where's Wally environment as the cars move around relative to themselves. Right, so I think that Ungaro is now ahead of Canas, and that could be fuel. So let's pick up Ungaro, who's about to go over the big jump and then onto the Proline wall of death, and he's in for fuel. Right, so take him in for fuel and see where he comes out, because he's going to be very, very close to either McBride He's going to come out right with McBride again in this battle of this off-centre, off-kilter fueling strategy. But the thing is that when he last time round, he was a long way behind Canas. Now Canas and McBride, let's move forward to McBride because he's right behind Canas. The all-white car is the second place man, one Carlos Canas. Then you've got third place man, Carl McBride. I think he's a net third. Oh, no, around the outside. And a break. Oh, he's going to get him on 3 corners. Not quite. Trying the outside loop run. There was Ungaro on McBride, and it almost came off. In many ways, I think he didn't quite have the courage and conviction to re-stick it in there, to be honest. As McBride comes up. Oh, and he's rolled out. So, now they got tangled up behind the marshal there, but that is McBride rolled out and losing real time. And now we have Ungaro. We'll have a clear run at Canas, who is, again, just stretching his lead over the two of them. It was 1.3. It's a bit more now because they had that issue at the top of the corner. Who's that being held back on the track? It wasn't Canas. So Ungaro into third again, and it's a real third because he's now overcome the fuel deficit he had to McBride. Now he has to try and see if he can start hunting down Canas. He's got the big wavy hat from Richard Saxton. He's 14 seconds. He's 17 seconds behind David Ronefalk, which is a key point. There's a marshal, there's a huge amount of traffic. Traffic's incredibly is clumped all around that way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, 9 cars along the ridge then. And this is what happens occasionally. Cars of different speeds and different numbers of laps are clumping. So behind, the car you can see behind Canas and actually ahead of Ungaro is Ryan Lutz, who's a lap down. That might be 2 laps down. I think it's just a lap down. As Ungaro flies up again. Now he's 2.5 seconds behind Canas, who has, after losing a bit of time, really given it some clarity. And it's going to be Ungaro very, very fast around that bottom corner of the whole shot there, and he's going to be straight past Ryan Lutz, who does a great job, lets him through. Lutz and Ungaro, of course, had a fantastic battle at the DXR Championship back in Easter, which eventually Lutz came out the winner to all of our surprise, based on a combination of fantastic driving and a very astute setup selection, whereas Ungaro didn't quite get his correct, but still it was great driving by Lutz to be able to hold on to him while he had got it correct. And then it was off, was able to take advantage, and now second and third are right back together again. And this streaking speed across the top. And then they've hit each other, and it's gone through. So into second place goes Ungaro. Ungaro takes second. So the recovery drive, which has been remarkable from 9th, maybe even 11th the first up, and then 9th, he's got through now. The only issue he's got is 18.5 seconds behind Ronefalk. So Canas made a mistake out of the bottom of the Holeshot corner. And now Ungaro is in second. Let's drop back to Canas in the white car, because he is now battling for third with McBride, who himself was having a little bit of a problem on the left-right side there, but carries on going. So that gap, which was quite close, of 0.7 second, will be easing out this time. It was a 2, yeah. He just lost all driving pride, and then he comes in for a pit stop as well. So he's now kind of out of kilter with everybody. So Canas remains in third. The lead for Ronefalk extends to 19 seconds. So this is the sort of domination we've seen from Ronefalk. Is actually what we have been used to seeing from Ungaro. Ungaro stays in second place. They're on just ahead of Canas, as you can see, the white car. They are on a almost identical fuel strategy, so this is a real gap here. They'll either go a lap or so either way. McBride's back away, having stopped for fuel, and that'll be where he actually is. So Juan Carlos Canas is seeing second place slipping away. And depending on the relevant performance of Ogden and Cavalieri, and currently Ogden is ahead of Cavalieri, it's also going to give HB second in the team's championship, ahead of S-Works as well. So significance for the teams and significance for the drivers in these current positions. And Canas really just got away with that one there. He just ran over the pole, the hose, and just rolled it, but landed back on his wheels. Carries on going again. And will lose a bit more time, and the 1, 2, 3 is going to get more and more spread. That's going to be a lot more than 1.8 seconds behind Ungaro at the end of this one. Ungaro looking particularly smooth. The only problem is also looking particularly smooth, and 21 seconds ahead of him is David Ronefalk. Now it's quite slow. Both him and Juan Carlos Canas had slow laps last time round, and Canas is in a turmoil of traffic from what looks like, one of which is Quad Green, the other is Lutz. So just trying to find a little bit of drive. I don't think on this surface we're going to see terminal tyre wear. They will be getting, obviously, they'll have a lot less grip than they had to begin with. Canas now 2.3 seconds, 3.2 seconds behind Ungaro. Ungaro 21.3 behind McBride. Ogden is a lap down in 5th. Lutz is another bit further down in 6th. Cavalieri 7th, Vale 8th. Moore 9th. Lee Martin is not running. Quadgreen is 6 laps off the lead, as is Hoffer. Mort is 5 laps off the lead, Vale 3. So the pace that Ronefalk has set has been blistering, and currently there are only 4 cars which are actually on the lead lap after 63 of those laps. Canas continues his relatively vain chase of David Ungaro. So let's take another look at our leader, David Ronefalk, just about to come. Where is he? In the dark, you sometimes can't see where they are. He's over at the just hopping over the somewhere, but can't see anyone. It's just. So luckily my cameramen are way more observant than I am as I peer out into the gloom at the back of the track and try my old eyes to see the 2 colours. But there we are on Ronefalk now over the tricky quad. And the power there, I noticed the smoke now kind of sinks into the holes of the quad jump and then sits there like kind of like a malevolent mist for the drivers to come through as they're emerging in some sort of sparkly way for an American Idol entrance. Ronefalk, who has had a selection of bad luck. Certainly in the Philippines, I think he had bad luck. Personally feel he overdrove the car in Austria. In Italy, not quite at the races, did okay. And then he's come here with a long time in America before at tracks which he and the car suit well and has really put it down. And I think oddly, the grid starting, well, the lack of grid starting, the Supercross style of starting, I think has certainly helped him because he's not concentrated so much on qualifying grid position. Just know what it's all about getting away. And we've not seen some of the issues we've seen with, even though Ungaro had a fantastic run of starts today, you kind of always felt that the actual speed, if you sat down over a lap, who are the fastest cars here this weekend? It is Ogden and Ronefalk. Ronefalk, again, in this dark race, exactly as it was with the second final yesterday, has looked way better than Ogden, whose car just didn't seem to be able to get on top of when the temperature drops. Whereas, I suppose, perhaps it's being Swedish, he used to it being a bit colder. Ronefalk not having the same issue, and the car, as you can see, still looking great in a fabulous rhythm, leading by 21 seconds from the world champion. He's leading by 21 seconds from the RCGP champion. But he's making a point in these final 2 rounds because he won yesterday, which is like must be a massive weight off his shoulders off being so close. And then, if he can win today with the hour-long final, it's another proof positive of the renaissance. Because it's fair to say that it's been a long time since Ronefalk's won a major race. He was second in the Euros when the rain came down. He could easily have won that, but got outfoxed by Ricardo Berton in the last couple of races. I think and coming off as he was a very poor run, he kind of at times thought second place was a bit of a success, and then it was like, oh no, it wasn't really. I should have won the Euros. In fairness, Berton was brilliant as it dried out again from the full wet in what was an absolutely fantastic final. Oh, and Ronefalk goes, but doesn't really lose any time. Well, it was an absolutely fantastic final. And at that point, we spoke to him after, he seemed quite happy, but I think in retrospect he kind of thought, I've missed a chance here. Ungaro had some problems. The mud basically weighed all the cars, down. It reduced the fuel consumption. People weren't stopping at the right time, and they also had issues with the pipes. And it was a really, really interesting final because of the weather. Any motorsport just add weather and things get more interesting. But now Ronefeld, who has been on a run of, always had the pace, but I think I genuinely, and I've said this, I think he's been slightly out of form for a while. And and that form, I believe, is down to that final nth degree of confidence. And it's a wave of confidence which you see Ungaro running. When things aren't going well, he's still smiling. It's fine, I did. I was in rotten starts yesterday, no problem. Oh, look, and we thought, we had a terrible day. Ungaro had a terrible day yesterday. What happened? He was second. And that's confidence and obviously talent. When you are the world champion, you are the RCGP champion, means you've won the biggest single event and you've won the biggest series within 1/8 Nitro racing. You kind of sit there going, well, this is quite good. I've done what I need to do. So another lap in the books, and that'll be lap 72 completed for Ronefalk, as he looks to complete a clean sweep of the American round. Just to remind you, the first round of RCGP was back in May in the Philippines, and that was won both rounds by Davide Ungaro in the very tricky Circular Verde circuit, the molasses coated track. Very three-dimensional, very hot, very humid. Then we went over to Fairing for the unbelievable full-speed blast in Austria for round 2, where we did have an awful lot of issues with the car just going so fast and accidents, and it got to be a bit of a crash fest, but rising above it again, Ungaro. And then we went to Diego Fuser, the former Italian international 25 caps he got for Italy, his home track in Asti in the wine country of Italy. And we had 2 rounds on there, very compact, sort of medium height track, which again was won by Ungaro, but could have been really, it was one of Ungaro's better performances because he didn't really have necessarily a huge pace advantage. He just had a keeping it pointing in the right direction, not crashing advantage. You kind of felt Elliot Boots was the fastest person there, but a couple of times he lost it on that first corner. Ronefalk I didn't think was particularly good in that event, though he picked up enough points. And then we did see Juan Carlos Canas coming really strongly through those European rounds. Really came back. And the thing about Juan Carlos, interesting was really in this championship, is he's always been better on the Sunday than the Saturday. And it's the same again today. He's running third. He's 4 or 5 seconds behind Ungaro, who's 26 seconds behind Ronefalk. But he was running third. And he just looked better on Sunday every single time. So we're at 3/4 distance. It's a 26-second lead, and Ronefalk driving himself forward as he can. Let's see if we can pick up Canas, who's just coming over the difficult quad. He's been gaining on the last couple of laps on Ungaro. Ungaro's lead was about 4.5, and it's now down to 2.8. Canas, of course, has broken probably one of the longest running streaks in RC history, which is the Spanish 1/8 Nitro Championship, which for the previous 13 years was run by Robert Bataille, and he lost. And this year, so for the first time in 14 years, Robert Bataille is not the Spanish champion. It's this man, Juan Carlos Canas, won it, and he's probably something like this because he gets away with that sort of thing. Let's roll, and he's lost about 3/4 of a second, if that, on that one. Already powering back up again. So Canas, the young Spaniard, is the Spanish champion. Won the Euro B. He's going to take a bit of fuel. Let's take him in. Interestingly, Ronefalk's coming at the same time as well. I wonder if they've changed Ronefalk's strategy just to run back the same as everybody else, just to make it a bit safer. So Ronefalk is not far off a lap ahead of Canas. So Canas has said he's started quite slowly in all the events. He's been much better in RCGP, much better on the Sunday than the Saturday. And it's the same again today. Usually running his silver and blue body. He's turned up for this event with a 1 can for Juan Carlos. And, you know, I'm sure there's reason that. Perhaps he got damaged in transit. But he got a experimental body from the S-Works team. Had a lot of partners, of course. Started the first race racing with Misha Widmeyer, And then, of course, since then, the S-Works team has had Elliot Boots with him, and he's working now with Ryan Cavalieri. Because they've had the European team as well, S-Works. They've also had with them Jorn Neumann and Leonardo Valenti as well. So they've had a big old team in S-Works running an RCGP. And Canas has risen to the top, though I think in the 2 races in which he was there head-to-head with Boots, it was Nip and Tucker who was the better out of the 2, but of course he'd done an extra round, and so he had more points. I think he probably had managed to get the finishes better than Boots as well, those 2 rounds, but there wasn't anything getting speed. But then I always do feel that Boots is over a lap is one of the fastest of the races around these days. So as he comes back for another lap, just going to see Ungaro's going to cross the line, 27 seconds back. 5 seconds behind him now is Canas. So if we stay this way, Canas will drop to 3rd in the championship. And what's about to happen is he's about to get lapped by Ronefalk. That is Ronefalk behind him. He just scuffled a half-second lap, but Ronefalk behind him now is about to... I noticed that Canas has put a bit of a hurry up to not be lapped, but that is the 3rd and the 1st driver. And Canas will be lapped soon by Ronefalk. They both stopped recently for fuel, so I noticed that Canas was getting a bit close now. Canas is going, I'm not being lapped. I'm going to put down a bit of speed. So Ronefalk 4/5 of the way through. It's quite easy because the percentage is just never laps. He's 81% of the race through now. He's done 81 laps. But he now has to... He's trolled out the back of Canas, but Canas is deciding he's not going to make it easy for the 2016 World Champion to get past him. Ronefalk, of course, just going up towards the Thunder Rally. Any second now, Canas will be asked to move out the way. And I think he has been asked to move out. He's going to move out the way because he should do. At this point, he's being a little bit naughty. And that's it. So lets him through. Good driving. And Ronefalk continues on his way. Now, the interview didn't talk about Ronefalk was in the interim period where he's been struggling for victories within 1/8 Nitro. He's actually won several European Championships in electric. As has, of course, Davide Ungaro, who is the 2-wheel drive electric European champion, and also the e-buggy champion he won this year. Let's go and see a bit more of our RCGP champion, the reigning world champion, so the double champion of the world events. It's Davide Ungaro just going over the difficult quad now with the bright orange wing. There is a possibility, it's an outside possibility, and I think this would be something that Ronefalk would absolutely love. There is an outside possibility he could lap Ungaro in this race. He's got about 7 seconds to make up in 16 laps. But if he's being sensible, he won't try and do it because he doesn't need to push. Because the only thing that's going to stop him now is a mechanical failure. But of course, if you stop pushing, you come off your rhythm, and sometimes you may have the accident that causes the failure. So it's that difficult conundrum of how fast do I go and how hard do I push. So behind these two, so it's Ronefalk, Ungaro, Canas, McBride, Ogden, Lutz and Cavalieri and Vale. So the 4 Americans are all together in 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. McBride has just got past Canas, which is interesting. Not sure how that happened. Was it a fuel stop? I don't know. So McBride is past Canas. As Ungaro, all the smoke showing up this time of day. And we're down to the last 14 laps or so of the RCGP Series. This is a man who's dominated the series. He's had a fabulous year since winning the World Championship. He's won RCGP. He's become European champion at 2-wheel drive electric off-road. He's become the European champion at e-buggy. He also, of course, was runner-up in the World Championship in Slovakia a couple of weeks ago in 2-wheel drive to his teammate Spencer Rivkin. So, not a shabby year. Okay, and he's finishing off with perhaps not a victory, But I'll tell you something I'm going to tell you right now. It does seem that the potential chance to lap Ungaro is a little bit of a spur on for Ronefalk, who's absolutely sprinting along. So you only have to drop back one car and you've got Ronefalk. You'll find how far. Look, Ronefalk, that's Ronefalk looking to put the lap on Ungaro, which whilst it won't give him any extra points, it won't give him any extra prize money, it won't give him any extra anything, I'm sure it'll give him a massive amount of satisfaction to actually finally stamp a win on the Italian. Ronefalk turns again with 12 laps to go. And we'll just drop down, climb through the hot race, double through the pole. That flash of orange, which he's been following before, normally trying to catch up. I mean, there's 2 races, I think this today in the qualifiers, where he was just trying to get past Ungaro. So over 12 laps, there was nothing in it, but over 100 laps, bit of fuel. So there's a juice, but with 7:40 to go, that'll be his last stop. Ungaro will have to stop as well. So last stop has been done. Last major nervous point for Ronefalk. Other cars are still having problems. Some of them actually holding up. They almost held up Ungaro, just kind of got in the way. Ogden's having a bit of a nightmare out there at the moment. He was sitting on top of one of the other cars for a while. Had to be torn apart like arguing schoolboys in the playground. So in goes the fuel, and it's going to be very, very close when they come out. Will Ronefalk put the lap on? Done it. Ronefalk puts the lap on Ungaro through the pit sequence. Ronefalk has lapped the field, which, to be honest, Ungaro did in a couple of the events, but he's lapped the field. And this is a fantastic comeback for the Swede. I think he was confident going in here. He likes the American-style circuits. He was well acclimatised, having spent some time at some other circuits, and also doing his New York HB days, which we showed you a little feature of earlier today. But with 10 laps to go, he has lapped him, and that must be a fantastic. He probably won't admit it. He won't say, "Oh, it must be great to lap him." Nothing important, but it must mean something on a 33 second, 34 second lap to lap the field. Never forget that McBride held the lead for the best part of 21 laps. So a lot. Oh no! And he's gone. What's happened? He's gone. He's flamed. He's flamed. They need to bring him in. Now, this is the interesting point. So he's a lap down. I'm not sure what that means, that they can get it going again. And this is really unbelievably unlucky, because he's just flamed whilst leading by a lap. And it's not a simple breakdown. The only sort of luck that Ronefalk can have is bad luck. He completely dominated the first 91 laps of this one, and it's gone. It's gone. Something has gone with the car. Ronefalk, Ungaro takes the lead. Ungaro takes the lead. He'd just been lapped, but Ronefalk's car has gone. McBride moves into second. Canas moves into third. Bang goes second place for the championship to Ronefalk. Bang goes second place in the team's championship. Is that Ronefalk just standing above them? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No, it's what can you do? Car is withdrawn, and that is a sickening, sickening situation. There he is at the back. There is Ronefalk, smiling. What can you do? What can you do? That is, well, sport is cruel. Motorsport is crueler. Scale motorsport is obviously 8 times crueler than that. But that is the story. He had just lapped his biggest rival, about to take the 1 hour race, and it is all over. Mechanical failure. It just stopped. I don't know whether it was we'll find out what the problem was. I'm sick for him. And what is that going to do with cycling? You've just got no luck whatsoever. So but let's go and find Ungaro. He is your leader now, because as the famous statement, which is attributed to just about all sorts of races. It's attributed to Denny Hulme, it's attributed to Mario Andretti, it's attributed to Ron Dennis. The truest statement in motor racing, be it racing trucks, be it the smallest of scale motorsport, is to finish first you have to finish. And that's what Ronald Falk's not done. Ungaro down the straight now with 5 laps to go. It's almost a bit longer now. We've got an extra lap because he has to do that. But Ungaro has come from 9th to 1st and is looking like he's going to win round 8. Obviously, we could say barring disasters, everyone else. McBride is 2nd. Canas is 3rd. Ogden is 4th. Lutz is 5th. Look like Ronald Falk's going to drop down in the end to about 9th, which is just not fair. But who said sport was fair? Who said motorsport was fair? And, well, I really don't know what to say. It's just such bad luck after such a great 90%. But 90% of the job was done. The final 10% just didn't happen. Something has gone wrong within the drivetrain, within the engine of the HB cars. Obviously not the fuel, because they refueled it again. So something failed catastrophically within the car, and suddenly they weren't working. Now, had all the hallmarks of one of those servo failures that we saw quite a couple of times. I don't want to say it was one, but it had the similar hallmarks. We just stopped moving anymore and they couldn't get it going. The servo failures we saw at the European Championships at Redovan back in 2016, where both he and Robert Battle ground to a halt with exactly the same servo failure within half lap of each other. And Elliot Boots, who'd been not quite as far behind as this man Ungaro was, he was about 10 seconds behind, cruised to a victory for his 2nd European Championship. But Ungaro is looking to make a 7 out of 8 with 1 second place. I suppose the only crumb of comfort has to be that come next season, Ronald Falk can't be as unlucky again, surely. I mean, I don't know how many black cats he's run over or whatever, but honestly, this season. But let's not take anything away from this man with the orange wing, Davide Ungaro, the world champion and the World Series, effectively RCGP Series champion, because he's indisputably the #1 driver in the world at the moment. He's beaten the best of America here, and he's beaten the best of Europe and Asia over the course of the last year. And he's about to start his penultimate lap. Actually, no, it's not his last lap. This is the last lap now for Ungaro, the last lap of the RCGP season, a season he has dominated, a season he's made his own, a season which started with 2 wins in the Philippines, was backed up with 2 wins in Fairing in Austria, then 2 wins in Asti in northern Italy, and now is going to be finished off with a very disappointing 2nd place in the sprint races yesterday, but a win in the big hour-long final, and to win, which is ever to deserved, starting in the 9th first, and Davide Ungaro wins again, 7 out of 8 for Ungaro. Fantastic result. Ungaro will, I'm sure, acknowledge Ronald Falk, but he has the win. He is the winner. In 2nd place, it's going to be Carl McBride, who managed to get past Juan Carlos Canas. Canas will be 3rd. 4th place will be Ogden. 5th place, Lutz. 6th place, Cavalieri. And a calm face of the Italian as he takes the win. So it's Ungaro from McBride from Canas. And I shall go down and I shall pass you over to to Mr. James Parry. There you go, James. Knock yourself out.
Just before I give you the results, we'll just watch Ungaro celebrating with his fellow drivers on the stand for a few seconds. Right, let's have a look at these results. So the final results are, in position number 1 was Davide Ungaro, 2 Kyle McBride, 3 Juan Carlos Canes. In position number 4 was Cole Ogden. Position 5 Ryan Lutz, 6 Ryan Cavalieri, 7 Evan Vale. Position number 8 was Joseph Quagrain, with Patrick Hoffer taking 9th, David Ronnefolk taking 10th, 11th went to Max Mort, and 12th went to Lee Martin. whilst we just wait for Nick to be ready in the interview area. Okay, I believe he's ready. Nick, over to you.
With Davide Ungaro. Well, that was a strange one. You were just lapped by David, and then he broke down, you won. So in some ways lucky, but you fought back from a terrible start.
Yeah, we go back with a terrible start. I was last on the first lap, and I just drive without mistakes and make some laps, and I think I did the best lap. And I arrived behind David, but he was really, really fast. He lapped me. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, he was really, really fast. Maybe some luck for us, but yeah, that's the race.
So you've won 7 of the 8 rounds, so sum up your RCGP series.
I think it was really, really nice to be part of Scampirosso team and also to drive on your race like RCGP. Hope next year to do the same or better, or we see.
Well, anyway, it has been all 8 races to do better, but it's great having you. Davide, very, very deserving champion. Well done for your race. It was great watching you come back through the field. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the runner-up was Kyle McBride. Kyle, you made a brilliant start, and you made a brilliant 22 laps, and then it all went wrong in one accident.
Yeah, look, I had a great start. My car was feeling really good. And then I just got side by side with David at the start there, and then I think I got caught with someone else. So, yeah, that kind of sucked, a bit unlucky, but yeah, I crawled my way back. Yeah, congrats to David, or Davide, and unlucky to David. It was good.
I mean, how much was the car changing during that hour? Because obviously it was getting colder and colder and colder, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. For me, like, my car was really good. It kind of got edgier, though, for me. Like, there's a lot of moisture in the track. But, yeah, apart from that, just a little bit of edginess, but, yeah, I just had to drive around it.
And so, how would you sum up your RCGP season? It's been, you probably had the most eventful one, I think.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I've had my ups and downs, but it's been awesome, man. Like, been able to go to Europe, travel to Austria, Italy, now here. Yeah, I think the series has been really, really good for the sport, so I'm stoked.
Great stuff. Thank you indeed from Carl. And we'll just do a quick hook for Juan Carlos Canas. Juan Carlos, a third. I mean, how do you feel the race went for you?
Yeah, it's too hard final. I feel super good at the first, but at the end, the car maybe is too soft, so it's all time move. But I think it's a good place for only we come 3 times for America, so it's different. I think it's good.
And of course, because of David's breakdown, you are second in the championship, and S-Works are second in the team championship.
Thank you.
Thanks indeed, Juan Carlos Canas. So that ends the absolutely epic season 1 of RCGP. Trust me, there will be a season 2, and you'll learn all about that in the next few weeks, or perhaps a couple of months when we talk about it. I'd like to thank all of you who've been watching and been with us over the past 6 or so months covering the 4 events. It's been great having you with us. We've enjoyed doing it. Hopefully we've moved the broadcast of RC on a bit, and we try to bring you the very best in coverage. But rest assured, next year it'll be bigger and better, with more teams, more drivers, more action, more racing, more accident, more incident, more crashes, and perhaps even more interesting starting procedures for RCGP. We will see you in season 2020 of RCGP on a screen, on a tablet, on a computer, on a phone, or even on your telly in a place near you. See you then. Thanks for being with us.